Last time on Dragon Ball Super, Granolah made a wish to become the strongest warrior in the universe. Consequently, the only way the Cerulean Dragon could grant this wish was for Granolah to sacrifice the remaining years of his life to where he would only have 3 years left to live. Later, Goku and Vegeta, who were tricked by the Heeter group, arrive on planet Cereal and start pursuing Granolah as they head to the mountain Maki and Oil told them to go to. Granolah, who was also manipulated by the Heeters, ambushes Goku and Vegeta by firing Ki blasts. Goku transforms into Master Ultra Instinct and seems to get the upper hand until we later find out that Goku was not fighting the real Granolah and just a clone. The real Granolah later shows up grinning and strikes Goku in the chest, followed up with a huge punch where he knocked Goku out. And before Granolah could have a chance to finish off Goku, Vegeta intervenes and starts fighting him. Things did not look good for Vegeta as Granolah landed a powerful strike to his vital point, and to our surprise, Vegeta grins and is covered in God Destruction Ki, where Vegeta finally transforms into a new God of Destruction Super Saiyan. So what's up guys, Emilio back again, and today I'll discuss the possibility that Granolah is not the main villain and how the Heeter group are the ones pulling the strings and setting everything into motion. I will theorize on how this could all play out by looking at the 10 questions the Heeter group asked Zuno. So get ready guys, because this will be exciting. During the end of the Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 74, we had an epic fight between Vegeta and Granolah. Granolah ends up striking Vegeta very hard in his vital point. Even with Vegeta partly blocking, he was still sent back to his base mode. Vegeta, looking nearly defeated, starts laughing. What fun this feeling. It's been ages. There's no planet to protect, no people to save, just me immersed in battle. My happy place. Vegeta then grins and says, just the thing to get a battle-crazed Saiyan's blood pumping. Vegeta begins to power up and starts to get surrounded by God of Destruction Ki. Vegeta then transforms into his new God of Destruction form. Granolah is shocked and asks Vegeta, what happened to you? Vegeta smiles and tells Granolah, a God of Destruction taught me that power derived solely from instinct is unbounded. Oh man, I can't wait for the next manga chapter to come out, and we now question, will God of Destruction Vegeta actually defeat Granolah? Well, what surprised me the most is that Vegeta put up a better fight against Granolah in Super Saiyan Blue than Goku did in his Mastered Ultra Instinct form. Vegeta was even able to recognize that Granolah could pinpoint Goku's weaknesses or his vital points so easily, which already gave Vegeta an edge, or at least prevented Granolah from knocking him out in a similar way he did to Goku. Vegeta can also use Force Spirit Fission and the God of Destruction form that Beerus taught him. So if Vegeta can strategically use these techniques and combos, or combine the Hakai with Force Spirit Fission, then he might actually be able to defeat Granolah. Vegeta did comment that Granolah may be stronger, but he cannot control his power. Well, he has not had training. But also keep in mind, Granolah has not gone all out yet, so the fight could go either way. Historically in Dragon Ball, the villain always defeats Goku and Vegeta one by one. So if history repeats itself, then Granolah will win, but I don't think so because of how inexperienced he is at fighting, and how the main villain is on the sideline, setting his plan into motion. Granolah isn't the most interesting antagonist. He clearly isn't a villain and just has a troubled past that involves the Saiyans and is being manipulated by the Heeters. So I firmly believe that the true villain will be one of the Heeters. They have been the ones pulling the strings and setting everything into motion. And they have some bad intentions, and we know that their goal is to one day take over Frieza's army. So let's talk a little bit more about their bad intentions and why I believe one of them will step forward as the main villain. In Chapter 71, Elec wrote down a series of questions he wanted Maki and Oil to ask Zuno. We later find out that Zuno is able to grant them 10 questions because he likes feisty women like Maki. So Mackie and Oil were able to ask some questions outside of Elec's list for personal gain. Now remember, Zuno will almost consider everything you say to him a question, as we saw that happen with Bulma, as our 3 questions were dwindled down to 1. So keep in mind that could also have happened to Oil and Mackie. But let's theorize on the 10 questions they would most likely ask. Now the first one we know is confirmed, which is, who sells the tastiest grub rolls in the universe? This was a personal gain question Mackie and Oil wanted to ask, as you can see from their excitement. Now going to question number 2, which was also confirmed, that is, where are the Saiyans currently located? What's interesting about this question is they now know of Beerus' planet, so will that matter later? I guess we'll find out down the road. It was also revealed in the manga that the Heeter group found out about Goku and Vegeta's weaknesses, which means that the third question was what is Goku's weakness? Where we even saw Mackie mention to Chi-Chi, might we ask you to summon him here for us? We heard that Goku isn't one to defy your commands. That right there shows me that's one of his weaknesses. So the next question would have to be, what are Vegeta's weaknesses? We know that Bulma would be considered to be one of his weaknesses, and Zuno probably also mentioned his overconfidence, but I'm sure we'll get to that part later. Alright, going to the next question. If the Heeters know that the Saiyans are located on planet Beerus, it would mean that the 5th question was, how do we get the Saiyans where we want them? Elec even responded to Gas that is a great question for Zuno. Everyone has a weakness. Whatever theirs is, we probably have the capital to exploit it. Zuno must have mentioned that Chi-Chi is in the need of money, and if they are able to use Chi-Chi and Bulma, then they can bring Goku and Vegeta back to Earth. So discovering the Saiyans' weaknesses were likely 2 of the questions. So to know how the Heeters can get the Saiyans where they want them as their 5th question, Zuno would have had to explain that the only way they will go to Planet Cereal is if there's a strong opponent there. Zuno would have to say something along the lines that historically, Goku and Vegeta are driven by fighting strong opponents. So if they can bring a strong fighter on Planet Cereal, then they will likely go. After knowing all that, the Heeters knew exactly what to do. When Chi-Chi told the Heeters that the funds are running low, the Heeter group told her that they would have the perfect job for Goku. Since the Saiyans are driven by fighting strong fighters, and with Chi-Chi needing money, it was the perfect opportunity for the Heeter group to set their plan into motion. Later in the chapter, we also learned from Oil and Mackie that they knew how the Dragon Balls work on Planet Cereal and on Earth. So the next questions must have been, how do the Earth Dragon Balls work, and how do the Dragon Balls on Planet Cereal work? Oil even mentioned that Zuno told them the Cereal Dragon Balls don't turn into stone like the Earth Dragon Balls do, so those were clues that they most likely asked questions about how the Dragon Balls work. Now the last 3 questions are a mystery, but I have a feeling that the 8th question they asked was, how do we find the Dragon Balls? Where we even see Mackie and Oil looking around Capsule Corp, and Mackie, with excitement, picks up the Dragon Radar and instantly knows what it is. Then Oil responds, Zuno's intel hasn't steered us wrong yet. So it's possible that could have been one of the questions unless Zuno brought up the Dragon Radar when he explained about the Dragon Balls. But I really doubt it, since in the past we saw that Zamasu had asked several questions on what the Super Dragon Balls are, how to use them, and how he can find them. I think Zuno would take questions 6 through 8 as separate, since he almost denied Zamasu more questions until he was threatened. So for the last 2 questions, I have a feeling that the 9th question must have involved Frieza. Please note that the Heeters are aware of Frieza's location, so they likely asked what is his weakness. Elec even mentioned that their goal is to take over Frieza's army, so I would be surprised if this question was never asked. Which brings us to the final question, and arguably the most important one. I have a feeling that it has to do with their final motive. They can't simply take over Frieza's army, but they could wish for a way so that they can become powerful enough to do so. So, how do they do that? And how can Gas or Elec become the strongest fighter in the universe? Well, Zuno knows everything, so he would be able to tell them how they can achieve that. For all we know, there could be some way in the story for someone to gain tremendous power. And let's be honest, Granolah sacrificing 150 years of his life to gain ultimate power isn't really appealing to others. So maybe Elec's question was, how can you become so powerful without sacrificing your own life? Perhaps the answer lies within 7-3. Maybe the power of Ultra Instinct and Moro is hidden away in 7-3, and that's what was meant in the first Granolah the Survivor arc trailer, where the literal translation stated that a new wickedness is moving, where 7-3, from being inside Moro, absorbed tremendous power. So if Elec, or Gas, can somehow gain all of the powers and abilities that were stored in 7-3, then they could surpass Granolah. Maybe Elec plans to use the Cerulean Dragon Balls to have Gas gain all the powers and abilities that 7-3 has, where he will later grab Granolah by the back of the neck and absorb his powers, making him the strongest fighter in the universe. And then, like Moro, Gas will be able to share that power with the rest of the Heeter group, like Moro did with the Galactic Patrol prisoners. I would like to say that Elec would be the one to take 7-3's powers, but there has been a lot of foreshadowing on Gas surpassing Frieza, as Elec even mentioned in Chapter 71. Your moment to fight has yet to come. Listen, you're the only member of this family who can surpass Frieza himself. Maybe Elec's plan is to make Gas the strongest fighter. Gas is loyal, and is said to be the strongest member of the Heeter group. Also, in the second Granolah the Survivor arc trailer, we saw translations that said, "Guided by fate, the Gathering Warriors will clash," and in this clip, you only see the Heeter group, Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah. And so far, only Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah have clashed, and we know the Heeter group is not strong enough yet to join the fray. So, Elec must have a plan to help the Heeter group overthrow Frieza's army, where we can see the first step of the plan already taking place in Chapter 71, when Mackie and Oil grab the Dragon Radar. We know for sure, once Elec and Gas land on Planet Cereal, they plan on using the Dragon Radar to find the Cerulean Dragon Balls, and then once they have them, they will be able to set their plan in motion. But of course, I would like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree that the 10 questions they asked Zuno are the same ones I came up with? And do you think that one of the questions involved how they could gain tremendous power without sacrificing their life? And will that part of their plan involve 7-3, where Gas will absorb all of 7-3's powers and abilities, and then later be able to absorb Granolah's power, making him the strongest fighter in the universe? I have a feeling 7-3 will play a major role, one way or the other. But anyway, leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. I am definitely curious to hear your thoughts, as anything can happen in Super. So I hope you all have an awesome day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!